I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons first. Thank you so much to my Bibliospren, Bibliohowlers, and my Bibliomancers. It means a lot to me that you give me your extra support for my passion and hobby. Hi everyone, Petrik here. So last year, I made this kind of video. This is where I will talk about some cover buys, meaning that I bought these books even before I read them. Yeah, I bought them simply because of their cover art. Yes, I am shallow. I think I can actually call myself a cover snob. Now, here's the thing. Cover art, good cover art, doesn't instantly mean the books are great. Of course, it doesn't. You cannot judge a book by its cover, right? But I do judge my purchases for physical books by their cover art. I think that's even more true lately. And because it has been a year since I made this kind of video, I thought I might as well do another one today. And you might have known about this from my SFF Spotlight videos. I love beautiful cover art. I love beautiful editions. And sometimes how gorgeous they are actually affects my decision to purchase the physical copies of these books. And yeah, I will showcase 10 books today. Note that this is not a comprehensive list, okay? Because as you can probably tell, I do have a lot of books where I bought because of their cover art. But for today, for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to show 10 of them. And I'm going to start by the one that I still haven't read up to this day. And the first one is Steles of the Sky by Elizabeth Bear. Yeah, this is the first book in a series that I forgot the name, but this cover art is done by Donato Giancola. I'm a huge fan of Donato Giancola, as some of you might know already by now because I talk about his art all the time on my YouTube channel. I haven't read anything by Elizabeth Bear yet. If you have read anything by her, do tell me whether her books are great or not. But Elizabeth Bear, on top of this series, I think there is a sequel trilogy to this one. And not gonna lie, I am already kinda inching to buy that trilogy as well because they have beautiful cover art as well. So they're so gorgeous, not gonna lie. You should check out the cover art. I think the title of the first book is The Stone in the Skull with the cover art by Richard Anderson, and then the second book as well, and then the third cover art features a different artist, but it's still very gorgeous. And moving on to the next book, this is a recent acquisition, and this one is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So I already know about the story of Frankenstein for many years now, but full disclosure, I still haven't read the book. Yeah, and when I saw this edition, this stunning edition with the cover art by Bernie Wrightson is available to purchase, I immediately bought it. And yes, this book features interior artworks by the same artist. And take a look at some of them here. If you have seen this on my book haul video, feel free to skip this. But come on, take a look. This is so gorgeous, right? And I know there are many interior artworks inside this book. I'm not sure when I will be diving into Frankenstein yet, but I will keep this on my bookshelves whenever I feel like I'm in the mood to tackle this one. Definitely will be reading Frankenstein with this beautiful edition. If you have read this book, do tell me whether you loved it or not. And moving on to the next book, this is an omnibus edition and it is a classic. This is Elric of Melnibone by Michael Moorcock. This is the first omnibus. I already bought all the available 3 omnibus published by Saga Press. I think the second book is The Stormbringer, and then the third and the final omnibus is The White Wolf. I think that's the title. All 3 omnibus have different cover art done by different cover artists. The first one, this one, is done by Brom, and then the second one is done by Michael Whelan, and then the third and final omnibus, The White Wolf, has a cover art done by Robert Gould. I haven't read any books in the Elric of Melnibone series by Michael Moorcock. I know, it is a shame, right? And I know that this is a classic grimdark or dark fantasy. Very popular and also very highly praised grimdark fantasy. I have read the graphic novel adaptation by Julian Blundell, but I haven't read the original one written by Michael Moorcock. And I definitely have to get around to this one. I mean, I heard pretty much nothing but great things, plus I really love reading the graphic novel adaptation by Julian Blundell. Michael Moorcock actually mentioned this. He actually said that the graphic novel adaptation, especially the first title, The Ruby Throne and Stormbringer, he mentioned it's even better than his own books. And I think that is a very high praise, but I look forward to finding out for myself whether the novels actually is better than the graphic novel adaptation or not. And also for those of you who still haven't read Elric of Melnibone just like me, well, do know that if you decide to buy the physical copy, the omnibus physical copy like this one, it actually comes with some interior artworks. Hold on, I'm going to show you some here. Ta-da! So pretty, right? And then also the end papers features this gorgeous map. So yeah, definitely something to consider if you want to tackle Elric of Melnibone by Michael Moorcock. And the fourth book I'm going to feature today is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha, Shannon. Now, full disclosure, the one that I'm displaying here, this is the Broken Binding edition that the Broken Binding sent to me. But I actually already bought a standard hardcover copy before the Broken Binding sent their edition of The Day of Fallen Night to me. So yeah, I did have a double copy of A Day of Fallen Night and also The Priory of the Orange Tree. I couldn't resist. I mean, this cover art is done by Ivan Belikov, whether it's The Priory of the Orange Tree or A Day of Fallen Night. Both of them, the cover art are exquisite. They are so gorgeous, and although I haven't read anything by Samantha Shannon yet, I definitely look forward to reading them. And from my experience, honestly, when a book has a gorgeous cover art, although I did say in the beginning, do not judge a book by its cover, but from my experience, statistically, when a book has beautiful cover art, usually the book is at least good to read. And not always the case, but statistically, yes, it is more positive than negative. And I will keep my fingers crossed that would be the same case to A Day of Fallen Night and also The Priory of the Orange Tree. And moving on to the number 5 books on this list, and this is also, just like Frankenstein, a recent acquisition, and this is The Fall of Numenor by J.R.R. Tolkien, edited by Brian Sibley. Although I have read The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbits, The Silmarillion, and also The Three Great Tales of Middle-earth, I haven't read The Fall of Numenor yet. And also, I think I must actually admit that I'm not too familiar with all the tales of the Second Age of Middle-earth. And now this book, this will be a chronological structure and compilation of every story and tale, as far as I know, every story and tale in the Second Age of Middle-earth. And they are compiled into this one book. And yes, this beautiful cover art is done by Alan Lee. Alan Lee is a legendary artist, whether it's Alan Lee, John Hoy, or Ted Nesmith. I think either one of them always put out some stunning cover art for a book in the Middle-earth series. Any book in the Middle-earth world, they are so beautiful. And when I saw this one on discount on Book Outlet, of course, I had to buy it. I had to. Plus, I have been interested in reading about the Second Age for a while now. So I think it is time to find out about the details of this one when I'm going to tackle the Middle-earth again from the beginning. Yes, because I do have a plan to do a full reread of the Middle-earth world by J.R.R. Tolkien. If you have read The Fall of Numenor, do tell me, do you love this one? And also, maybe do enlighten me when I should read The Fall of Numenor, whether it is after I'm done with The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, or maybe after I'm done with the Silmarillion, or maybe even after I finish reading again all of the other books other than The Fall of Numenor by J.R.R. Tolkien in the Middle-earth. Now, one more book before I talk about the remaining 4 books that I bought because of cover buy, but now I have read them. And the next one, I will read this very soon, and this is Howling Dark by Christopher Ruocchio. Whether it's Empire of Silence, Howling Dark, Demon in White, The Kingdoms of Death, or The Ashes of Man, all of them are cover buy from me. Well, not only cover buy, I cannot deny that booktubes have a lot of influence over my purchases on the books in the Sun Eater series. And I'm not talking only about booktubers, but all of your comment as well. As I said in my TBR for Empire of Silence this month, out of any books and any series that I have been recommended, Sun Eater is by far the top one. I have never in my history of reading and reviewing books get recommended for a series as much as the Sun Eater. My viewers, well, meaning you, are very confident that I'm going to love the Sun Eater series, and Mike from Mike's book review as well. And of course, I bought all of them. The first book in the Sun Eater series, Empire of Silence, has a cover art done by Sam Weber. However, for the second book and beyond, for the books in the main series, all of them, just like Howling Dark, all of them has a cover art done by Kieran Yanner, and I think Kieran did such an excellent job on every cover art in the Sun Eater series. They are absolutely stunning in my opinion. What do you think? If you have read this book? Do you agree that this one would be suitable for me or not? And also, do let me know what you think about the cover art in the Sun Eater series. I think they are some of the best cover art that I have ever seen in any sci-fi series. Maybe even the best cover art, not gonna lie. I regard them that highly. And now, I'm really glad that I already own all hardcover copy of Sun Eater series, especially now that they're all sold out. I'm going to be reading Empire of Silence next week, and then if all goes well according to plan, I plan to read Howling Dark next month. And why do I feature Howling Dark here? Because in my opinion, Howling Dark has the best cover art out of all the 5 books in the Sun Eater series so far. And for the remaining 4 books, as I said, when I bought them, I haven't read any of these books yet, but I bought them because, well, their cover art has a lot of influence on my buying decision. But now I have read them, and yes, I enjoyed all 4 books I'm going to mention next. And the first one is Mother of Learning by Domagoj Kurmaic. Yes, I've been talking about this series for, well, many times now on my YouTube channel this year. It was one of my priority series to start and finish this year, and I have finished reading it. The cover art is done by Mansik Yang, and I think Mark did a great job in producing the hardcover edition of Mother of Learning. I'm still waiting for the second edition, for the second book in the Mother of Learning series to arrive to my place. I believe it is on the way to me right now, but I don't have it yet. But I think the transition and the progression in the cover art of the entire series from book 1 up to book 4 is really well done. It really matched the narrative of the entire Mother of Learning series, as it shows the progression in power and maturity of the main character Zorian Kaczynski. If you love time loop fantasy done right, try reading Mother of Learning. I think it is a great and fun series. The amount of things that the author managed to implement into this series while operating under such a limited scope is incredible in my opinion. So good. And for the next one is a massively popular book, and it is Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. This is the first book in the Empire of the Vampire trilogy. For Empire of the Vampire, I will not lie, I did not buy this because of J. Kristoff. I bought this because the UK edition of J. Kristoff's books has a cover art done by Kerby Rosanes. To this day, I think it is still a mystery why Kerby Rosanes doesn't do a lot of cover art in the fantasy and sci-fi landscape. It's ridiculous. Kerby Rosanes is incredible. You have to check out his portfolio, and this is just so beautiful. When I heard that Kerby Rosanes will be doing the cover art of Empire of the Vampire in the UK edition, I immediately pre-ordered this book without even seeing the cover art. The cover art hasn't been revealed yet. When I heard about that news from J. Kristoff's update. And when I heard that, I immediately bought it. And yes, it is worth it. The first half of this one was a struggle for me, but the second half was really worth the read. I hope the second book in the series, Empire of the Dam, again with such a beautiful cover art done by Kerby Rosanes, will be better than Empire of the Vampire. And for those of you who haven't read this book, do know that the inside of this one, it has so many interior artworks. So many, not by Kerby Rosanes or Jason Chan. Jason Chan is the US cover artist, the US edition cover artist, but the interior artworks are done by Bon Ortwig, and they are beautiful. I think books with interior artworks are always a plus for me. I love interior arts, and having them in books cannot hurt the quality of the books, in my opinion. And for the 9th book on the list, this shouldn't come as a surprise. I mean, we're talking about Joe Abercrombie here, and I think I'm kind of cheating about this one here. So when I first read A Little Hatred, I actually got the UK hardcover edition, but the US hardcover, this one has a cover art done by Sam Weber. I never do this kind of thing, meaning that I buy another standard edition in the US or the UK for a book that I already own. And I already own A Little Hatred and The Trouble with Peace, the UK edition, back when I read A Little Hatred and The Trouble with Peace. But I cannot resist this. I think the cover art for the Age of Madness trilogy, the US edition, all of them done by Sam Weber, I think they look beautiful. And this one features a helmet, the second one features a sword, and then the third one features an axe, and they are so gorgeous. It goes without saying that I will be buying all of Joe Abercrombie's books. I am a huge fan of the First Law world, but to buy another standard hardcover for a book that I already own, for a physical book that I already own, that is incredibly rare for me, and I did that for the Age of Madness trilogy, because I think Orbit Books did a great job in choosing Sam Weber as the cover artist for the Age of Madness trilogy US hardcover edition. And finally, for the last book on today's video, this will be, I think some of you might have predicted this, but this is the Dragonbone chair by Tad Williams, the Grim Oak Press edition. I began this video with a cover art done by Donato Giancola for Elizabeth Bear's books, and I think it is proper to end this video with another book with the cover art done by Donato Giancola. And yes, this is the most expensive case of cover buy for me. I actually bought this special edition just because of the cover art and also the interior artworks by Donato Giancola. I made a video about this. I usually never do this kind of thing, meaning buying a special edition, an expensive special edition for a book or series that I haven't started reading yet. I am not brave enough, I am not brave or rich enough to make that kind of investment. But for this one, I couldn't resist, I had to do it. I mean, take a look at this, take a look at Simon and also, well, the dragon here, Ikjarjuk. Yeah, I just finished reading Memory, Sorrow and Thorn trilogy, and it is incredible. Love this trilogy very much, especially the Dragonbone chair and also the third book, To Green Angel Tower. So thankfully, even though I took a big gamble in purchasing this almost $200 special edition, it pays off nicely because this has become one of the most beautiful special editions that I own, and it is also one of the best books that I have ever read. So yeah, love this one. As I said, I will be reading the second series in the Osten Art saga, The Last King of Osten Art in 2024. But I think I will dive into the heart of what was lost. I think that's the title of the novella, before the year ends. So yeah, look forward to my thoughts on that. But again, this is a worthy purchase in my opinion. So that's it. That's the end of today's video. That's the end of the 10 books that I bought, mainly because of their cover art. Now, do tell me whether you have read all the books I listed on today's video or not. As I said, I haven't read 6 of them, but also I have read 4 of them, and all of them with beautiful cover art, and their inside are as stunning as well. All of them are great stories, and I look forward to reading the remaining 6 books in today's video that I haven't read yet. I don't know when, but hopefully as soon as I can. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me today. Do tell me what are some of your favorite cover buys, meaning that you buy them because of the cover art and then they end up being a great read as well. I think for us readers, we have come to realize that buying books and reading books are 2 different hobbies. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me today. As always, thank you so much for watching and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.